Hey, what's going on, you guys? It is MX Alpha here, and today I'm doing part 2 of our multiplayer mission uh, editor guide series. So I took the liberty of finishing, for the most part, the base. I had a little guard shack out front. There's going to be some more stuff we do out front, but that's for a later episode because it actually involves moving pieces and a little bit of scripting that I'm going to show you just for super basic details. So basically all I did was I made it all modular. So here's artillery section, here's like your living section, this is more of a decoration section, and then your helicopter section. And one thing you're going to want to note is when you're building a base in a non-airfield, non-paved kind of area, you're going to be building on a lot of hills usually. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, especially if you're the pilot taking off from this place, because you could very easily not realize that, and then you're going to shoot off this way. So just be sure. I should have put these up here, but the reason I didn't put these up here was because of the power lines, which I knew would cause trouble coming in from this direction. So basically I had to bite the bullet and put it on a hill. Which I'm not too worried about. Most people in our group that can pilot know how to pilot off a hill. So just keep that in mind if you're not that good at taking off and stuff. Make sure you place stuff on a flat piece of ground. So I also placed boats. I placed the rest of my vehicles. I placed box trucks, Humvees, UTVs, and I actually had to move this section down even further because, once again, rough ground was making these things float up in the air, and it looks sloppy. All of these are indestructible and simple objects. Once again, that's in theory supposed to help FPS and frame rate, especially. That's one thing you really want to focus on when you're doing a multiplayer mission with a lot of people, is the more objects, the lower the FPS will be for the server. So that's why this isn't too detailed. If it's a single player mission, go all out, do what you need to do as far as your computer can handle it. One last thing to note before we get into the actual video, I synced all the vehicles up with the respawn module, and this is what it will look like when your base is pretty much done. You'll have a big spider web of sync connectors, I guess. So today what I decided we'll go over is everything that you need to know about the actual interface. Because once you have the base done, there's all these other options here to help you do your missions. Now these, I'm not going to get too much into it because a lot of it's already done with hotkeys. So like these, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Like I said, I'm going over the very basics of what you'll need to know for mission making. So right over here, if you click to the left, you'll see every object that has been placed. Every single object in this mission that has been placed is in here. So yeah, there's that. And then if you know what location you want to go to, you can just click it and it'll actually bring you there. I obviously don't want to go there, so we're just going to fly on back. Actually, we can just hit M. For those of you that don't know, if you want to fast travel to a location but you don't know what the name is, you can actually just go to the map and then right click and hit go here, and it'll bring you right there. So yeah, that's what's on the right or left side, and on the right side we've already pretty much gone over it. All the objects, and then your history, which will show you if you moved, you rotated, deleted, created objects. Yeah, so that's not too important. You probably won't use this very much unless you made a mistake and you're trying to figure out where you made the mistake. So let's start going over this. Scenario is basically your save page. One thing I forgot to go over in the last episode was how to save a mission. So if you want to save a mission, you want to go to Save As, and I named this 101st Outpost. So then you hit Save. Now that will save it as a single player mission. Now there's two ways you can go about saving it as a multiplayer mission. You can either go to Save As, multiplayer missions, and then name it, you know, the same exact save name, so like 101st Outpost, and then you'd hit save. But I don't do that. You can do it a lot quicker by going to export, and then you can export to multiplayer, and that'll bring it straight there. So you can also put new, open save. Those are pretty basic, and then export. You can publish to the Steam Workshop, so if I wanted to publish this base, I could do that, but since it has mods, there's really no point, because chances of people having the exact mods I have are decent, but slim still. You can show the required add-ons, and then log folders for if you're having errors and stuff like that, usually. Edit. Most of the things you'll be using, if you ever hit edit, is just undo. And then for mission makers, you'll be doing some of this, but you can also access that right here. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff on here that you don't even need to worry about, because there's either a hotkey or a quick button for it. So like all of this right here is all located right here. So there's really nothing to even, I mean, worry about up in quite a few of these tabs. View is pretty self-explanatory. Vision mode right here. Once again, I mean, you have vision modes right here. So I mean, like I said, these tabs pretty much are useless if you know the hotkeys. Toggle flashlight. It says right there L. So if you don't know what the hotkey is, most of the time it'll tell you exactly what the hotkey is. So they did a pretty good job of teaching you how to do all this on your own. Toggle foliage. The main reason you'd use that is if you're really doing fine editing, or you're, I guess, trying to lower some frame rate. I guess I've never really used that. I've never really had a reason to use it. So yeah, I mean, all this is pretty self-explanatory. Attributes is probably about the only one that you'll really be using very often on a basic mission, and that's because you have these three things which are all fairly important. So general is, I mean, there's all these options here. A lot of this involves scripting, which I can go over in future episodes, but like I said, this is the 101 of editing. So I mean, I can go over in future videos of all the scripting. There's quite a bit to know, but they can be helpful if you're trying to go for a pretty detailed look. States, this is about the most you'd need to use in these top couple tabs. The miscellaneous one is actually probably the one you'll use most, and that's just because this is where, for those who use a 2D editor, you used to be able to go to like here, and then you'd hit Intel, and then you could pick what side the independents were on from here, but they changed that, and now you have to go to Attributes, General, and then Independence Allegiance. And the way to change it, you just click on blue or red, and handshake means you're friendly, and the swords mean you're enemies. So we'll make it enemies with the independence here, so we have more options for enemies. These are all pretty self-explanatory. Radio, music volume, intro text, you can have that, and then ambient flyby. This is more for I believe intros. I've never really done much with the ambient flyby, so I don't know too much about that one. And then if you go to environment, which is located right here, so you don't even have to worry about that, but you have all the options, very detailed options for everything you need to worry about weather. So time, weather forecast, literally everything that involves weather is in this page right here. Next one is multiplayer. This is where we did the respawn, and I'll show you the revive system very briefly. I'll probably go in another video about it, just because yeah, I'll probably make a more in-depth video on the revive system. But so to set up a revive system, you just hit you go to, not respawn, revive. Revive mode, you just hit enable for all players. Required trait, you can either have a medic or anybody can do it. Required items, I usually go first aid / med kit, and then first aid consumed on revive, so that means if you don't have a med kit, then your first aid kit that you use to revive the person will be taken away as if you just treated him. Revive duration, this is the amount of time that it'll take to revive the person. I do 6 seconds. It's the standard. It's long, but it's quick enough to not get shot in battle. If you're a medic, then you'll be quicker at it. You'll be more proficient at it. And this is the multiplier of how much quicker you'll be at it. It can go up to 3, I believe, but I leave it at 2. Come on. Oh, okay, whatever. Okay, there it is. Force respawn duration. Yeah, controls how long it takes to force respawn while incapacitated. That means if you don't want to wait for the revive, you can kill yourself, which means you just hold the spacebar down for 3 seconds. Incapacitation mode. This is like what the how the actual revive system will activate. So on basic, it means if you get shot at any point in time with any caliber, you will go down as incapacitated instead of dead. So in basic, you'll go down every single time. You'll never die immediately, unless maybe an explosion. I'm not sure. Advanced, extensive. It says right there, extensive wounds will kill players instantly. So explosions, headshots, stuff like that will kill you instantly, but everything else will put you down as revivable. And then realistic, if you take a 50 round to the chest, you're probably going to die. That's basically how that works. So I usually put it on advanced, and then bleed out duration I leave on 2 minutes. You can have it longer. I don't recommend going under 2 minutes. And then dynamic groups, you can hit enable, and we'll go more into that kind of stuff later on. So that's all you really need to know for that. And then the last attribute is performance. And this is more for like, once again, this is more for multiplayer actually. This will limit the amount of stuff that you can, like the amount of vehicle or corpse and the wrecks. So you don't want too many exploded vehicles and stuff on a multiplayer server, because that's gonna drop frame rate. That's gonna make people start lagging out and stuff like that, and that's always an issue. Tools, once again, most of this is more in-depth. A lot of this usually gets used if you're creating dedicated servers or single-player missions. For like a super basic multiplayer mission, you won't be using any of that, but I can cover that in later tutorials. Right here, this is 3 enhance. There's a lot more stuff in here that you can use. A lot of it you don't really need to worry about, because once again, there's these are just more options. These are little options that you can use to help you or kind of cut some corners and stuff like that. I don't personally use these, so I don't really know much about them, so I can't really help you too much on that. And the settings, this is basically if you were to hit escape in game, these are the same exact settings. And then play, you can play in single player with mission or briefing. That's for like if you create an intro and stuff like that. And then yeah, pretty much all that kind of stuff. And you can actually go straight to play in multiplayer. I've never actually tried that, but I assume that's so you can test respawns and stuff like that. And then help, if you don't have, or if you don't know like what to do from this video, then you can definitely go here. And I highly recommend all these people's videos. They're all great Arma YouTubers. And yeah, if you don't know what to do here, then you can just go straight to there. So moving down to the next line, like I said before, all this stuff up here is the more in detailed list of this stuff. So if you hit scenario, you'll see new, open, save, and save as. And then right here, new, open, save as, or actually save, but and then publish the Steam Workshop. There's undo, and you can redo. No widget means I'm not gonna move anything around base, so I'm just gonna actually place something quick. We'll just place a we'll place this box on the road, and I'll show you everything here. So with no widget, that means I can click and drag. I can do all this freely. Now if I hit translation widget, I can still do that, but now I can individually from each axis change it, so you don't have to worry about the hotkeys. You can just do this like so, but you can still click it and freely move it too. With the rotation widget, this is more for if you're going in high detail with certain things. Once again, more for single player kind of campaign stuff, but you can change any of the rotation on it. So, I mean, you can do pretty much anything. And then area widget. Area scaling widget. This is I've never actually tried too much of this because a lot of the items you can't scale. They're pretty much the same. So yeah, those. A lot of these you'll pretty much never use, and if you do, I'm gonna go in more detail with these when I do use them, if I do use them. Just because they're hard to. A lot of this is kind of hard to show if you're not actually doing anything. But you can toggle translation grids. You can have it different sizes. And then you'll see right there it says toggle translation grid, and then in the brackets it's semicolon to activate it. So there, yeah, that's I'm going to deactivate it. And then toggle rotation grid. There's no hotkey apparently, but these are all just for, once again, more detailed building. So yeah. So once again, Intel, that's all weather stuff. And then you can toggle the map, which is just M. You can hit M. And then toggle flashlight. That's if it's nighttime. You can toggle flashlight. And you can also toggle night vision and thermals. And yeah, that's about it. So that's about it for today, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button down below. And as always, guys, this was an episode.